Welcome back to another Witcher lore video. I've decided to make today's video on the Guild of Merchants, as I'm sure you can tell by the title, as today's my Witcher Guilds video, and I thought, I haven't actually covered this guild yet, and it actually has guild in the title, so why not? So as of looking for information on this guild, I'm gonna say it was very scarce, but I've managed to compile information from other sources, and I'm gonna cover some characters that I wouldn't do character videos on because they're too, small characters. So this video should at least give you some new information because I didn't know a lot of this. So anyway, the Guild of Merchants, or as you may know it, the Trade Corporation, is currently the most influential organisation within Nilfgaard, and I'd say it has quite a lot of influence in the Northern Realms too. The Guild of Merchants pretty much works behind the scenes in a lot of things. So for example, you actually meet a member of this guild in The Witcher 1, and this is of course Declan Luvarden. He's actually from Nilfgaard, as that's where it's most prominent. But you can see that they're slowly spreading across the continent and they're trying to kind of use their various skills to make money. That's their goal, to make money. The best way I can describe the Guild of Merchants is imagine an organisation in real life. So think about it like you might have a city or a town. You have a mayor of that town or city, and that mayor rules over the local council. And that local council sets out a basis of rules in which the society is run by, and it follows other bases of rules, but let's just go with that for now. The Guild of Merchants works in the same way. So it has a set list of rules, and it can work in such a way that it can control certain things, as it's one of the most influential guilds in Nilfgaard. So they can support people depending on what they want. An example I could give you is that if you think about when you go to Tucson and you fight the Silver Basilisk, if you refuse to kill it, you see loads of Guild of Merchants signs coming up about you and everything else because they set out the contract and you refused to do it. And not only that, you prevented the Reavers who were sent to do it. So you see, they use their influence as a way to try and prevent people from stopping them. They're becoming more and more powerful as the Witcher games go on. And with each state Nilfgaard converts, the more influence they have, because they just have influence over Nilfgaard as a whole. And then their culture kind of gets imbued into the northern culture as they take over, and then the Guild of Merchants becomes more powerful through that. So its official statement is that its aim is to profit from trading. So it wants to work out the best ways to try and negotiate, I imagine, for taxes to be better for merchants, everything else like that. But as I've just said then, it's not always that. A lot of the times they do things in illegal ways. So as I stated in my last video on Morvran, one of their members was actually part of a plot to overthrow Emir. They're this influential, they're almost on the level of nobles, or barons, or rulers of states, and to join this guild is a great honour. Obviously, this merchant did eventually betray that organisation he was part of, which shows you that they're willing to lie to boost their position. So there are a lot of members of this guild, but there is kind of, as with most guilds, an inner circle of respected members. And these members obtain the secret sign of recognition. And this is a star surrounded by flames, inscribed in a triangle, and it's all made of gold. You can probably see a picture of it on screen if I manage to get one. Usually they'll only ever accept people of a certain standard. For example, they accept Morvran because he is a noble, he's very well known in Nilfgaard, he has a lot of influence, and he's just a good person to have in their guild. But sometimes they will accept people who have made a name for themselves. For example, I imagine they probably accept people like, when you go to the auction house, you meet a Gwent card player who has new money because they won it by just playing cards and being very good at it and winning tournaments. So if he became to a certain standard, maybe he decides to become a merchant, he becomes rich, they would probably accept him too. It's not necessarily about the background, a lot of the time it is, but it's also about your wealth and your respect that you've gained. They want influential people in their organisation. So there's not much history on this guild, we don't know how it was founded, we don't know anything really about it, it's just kind of name dropped here and there, but it's name dropped a lot and it's very interesting. So I'm going to go over some of the characters that are less well known. I'm not going to go over characters like Morvran or Declan Luvarden, as they're quite big characters and they could have their own videos in the future. So the first character I want to go over lightly is Berengar Luvarden, and he was a Nilfgaardian nobleman and a member of the Guild of Merchants. He, as I said earlier, he planned to do a conspiracy to take down Emir var Emreis from the imperial throne, but he eventually betrayed his friends and let them go. That's pretty much all on him. He did have a hand in letting Morvran join the Guild of Merchants, but there's not really much said on him, to be honest. He's just a very minor character, who's name dropped as most characters are. There's another character, but I will go over him in his own video. This is Sheilard Fitz Osterrein, which I think is how you say his name. He's quite a big character though, he appears in The Witcher 2, you may remember him, there's some pictures on screen, you might recognise him. He was effectively a Nilfgaardian aristocrat who was also the ambassador to Redania and a member of the Guild of Merchants. A lot happens to him in The Witcher 2, but I'll get into that in a later video. There's another member of this guild that's actually in the books, and I'm not going to get too into him again, as he could honestly have his own character video. He's quite a big character in the books, at least during the Rat arc. His name name's Hotspurn, and what he would do is he'd actually work in collaboration with bandits and the rats and things like that. So what he would do is he would mark certain transports so the rats would know not to go for those, but if he wanted people to be dispatched and give them some easy loot, he would not mark those, which meant that they would then go for those ones. They know they'd be pretty safe, he wouldn't put as many guards on it, and it would just be easy pickings. And he's actually a half-elf, which is kind of interesting because usually half-elves aren't exactly high in society, but he seems to be very high in society as a member of the Guild of Merchants. So as I just said, I'm not going to get too into him as he's quite a big character in the books, ish, for a bit. I'd say he's got enough information for a full video, so I'm not going to get fully into that guy. And finally, I'm going to go over Prince Voorhis, and this was Morvran's father. He was actually thought to be a member of the Guild of Merchants just based on the fact that his son was accepted and he was a prince. He actually had a big part, as I said in my Morvran video, of making Morvran higher in noble society, so I imagine that he would probably be a member of the Guild of Merchants just based on his position in society, as most high-ranking members were. He is actually regarded as a man of iron will and would never let anybody tell him what to do, which is why they elected to have his son put onto the throne of Nilfgaard instead. It's actually not known whether he knew anything about the murder of Emir and the idea to put his son on the throne instead, but if he did, he kept very quiet about it. He's not exactly a big character in the books, but he's a very interesting character. Anyway guys, that's the end of today's video. As I said, it would be a bit of a short one today as this isn't a big guild, but as I always say, I want to cover every single aspect of this universe, and sometimes that means doing shorter videos like this. As always, be sure to go and follow my Twitter as I do updates on there every other day. Today, as of uploading this video, I would have probably done a poll on Twitter which lets you select my video for tomorrow. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can get into those polls next time and decide what video there might be. And it's just a cool way for you guys to contact me. I've had people contact me on there quite a bit. I reply. I just like to chat to you guys. Also, be sure to go and follow me on Twitch. I plan to do some more games on there soon. I may be able to do some on Saturday this week, so that should be interesting, which is tomorrow for you guys actually, so that could be cool. So be sure to go and follow me on there to get the notification when I start streaming. It could be anything from the Batman games to some Witcher stuff to some Halo to some Elder Scrolls. I don't know what I'll do. I might do some Elder Scrolls Online as I haven't played that in a while, and maybe that would be fun for a live stream. Also, be sure to join the Discord. It's quite a tight-knit community at the minute. We all have chats. It's very cool. There's over 350 people or something in there. It's very, very cool if you guys join that because we all get to chat in there. Post your art, post your Gwent challenges, post whatever. All the links for everything I talk about in these outros are down in the description, so be sure to go and check there if you want to join any of these things. And also, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are really, really cool. Thank you so much for donating. It's amazing. If anybody here watching right now thinks, you know what, I have a bit of spare money, I'd like to donate, go to Patreon, donate however much you want. It'll be a monthly thing. You get your name at the end of every single video. You get to find out what videos are a day early. You get to join the special Discord chat where I post the high-res thumbnails a day early so you get to know what videos are. And you can just chat to me anyway. So yeah, be sure to join there. And anybody that clicks like on the video, anybody that comments, you're honestly just thank you so much. It's so kind if you guys do that. And it's just amazing. Thank you all so much. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next lore video. Have an awesome weekend. Or rest of the week depending on when you watch this.